right, get ready to go live on Facebook. We're ready to do a live webinar simultaneously. So if you're joining me now, I'm about to do a live national webinar for MyEcon, a personal financial success company. So I'll be taking on 2 jobs at one time.
Please enter your organizer code. You are now an organizer. Everyone else is muted. You will now be placed into the... Everyone else is now unmuted. Now.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing? All right. It's TC Chambers. I'll be your presenter this evening. This will be ideal time to introduce yourself if you haven't done so. Just your name and where you're calling from. All right, listen, wait. Okay, I just muted the call out. If you're on the webinar this evening, and if you hear any noise where you're calling from, everyone on the webinar hears that same noise. So if possible, can you mute out your cell phone or the phone that you're on? Just mute it so that no one on the webinar is able to hear that same noise. Now, when I start the presentation, I will go ahead and mute the line out. But at least for now, if you can do that, then it'll make it quiet during introductions. All right, I'm gonna try to open the line back up.
Everyone else is now unmuted.
All right, the line is unmuted, but it still have a lot of background noise. No problem. So on the count of 3, let's just give one big hello, MyEcon. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, MyEcon. Hey, Uncle, how are you? All right, I'm at... Hey, Glory, how are you? All right, so I'm going to mute the line up. Smiley, how are you? And so all of our leaders, let me mute the call out. So for all our leaders out there, as a part of the training, what we're going to have to incorporate is make sure that we teach our new associates conference call and webinar etiquette so they understand. A lot of times they've never been on them, so they don't really know that all the noise in their area, or when they put their phone on speaker, all the echo that goes through the national webinar and conference call, at least during the introductions. Now that introductions are over, and the line is muted out, then there's no type of interference. But I think once they understand that, then as they get on and as they invite their guests on, they'll be able to relay that message. So I'm doing actually double duty this evening. I've been asked for my group to do Facebook Live, as well as I'm live on MyEcon's national webinar. So I'm TC Chambers, Executive Vice President Infinity with MyEcon, and it's my plum-pleasing pleasure to be able to present this information this evening. And you know, I'm super excited for many reasons, not just because, you know, the company's doing so well nationally. We're doing phenomenal here locally in the Miami market, but I'm actually about to take a business trip to Europe. That's right, a business trip to Europe. So I have some airmen at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany that I'm going to be doing an overview and some training for. And you know, while I'm there, I'm going to get to see one of my nieces I haven't seen in over 15 years. Then I'm going to travel a little further south and see some of my German buddies, and they're going to take me to one of the beer festivals in their small town. So I'm really excited because I'm the eve of a business trip, a fun trip at the same time. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And tonight we'll be talking about a company called MyEcon. And the name itself, MyEcon, is short for My Economy. And the reason we named it that is because we want people to say that in the first person, MyEcon, my economy. So you then take responsibility for your personal finances, for the finances of your household. See, you have all the control. depending on the knowledge and the skills and the tools, the support that you get and the mentorship that you get, that will determine your financial success overall. See, not the politicians, not the officials, but you. So it's important for you to really understand that, and that's why we named the company that. Now, we're the Personal Financial Success Company. Now, I'm about to make a bold statement, but I assure you that I can back this statement up. See, there are things that we do and we teach in MyEcon. There's not another company on the face of the earth that teaches what we teach, whose associates apply the information that we teach, and I'm going to talk to you about. And I know it's a very bold statement. So on Facebook, you can comment. I can't see your comments now, but on a replay, I'll look at it and I'll respond. On the webinar, when we go into question and answers, I want any of our guests who feel I did not back that statement up to star 6, specifically some things that we do that no other company on the face of the earth does and teaches associates. The value that we bring, the value that our message brings, the value that we pour into our associates who in return pour into their circle and people that are around you. So the person that invited you onto this webinar this evening understood that there's some information that you're going to hear tonight that can positively impact your finances if you were to apply it. So let's go on and talk a little bit more about the company and talk about value that we provide. Okay, so now MyEcon itself is a 13-year-old debt-free, technology-driven company based in Atlanta, Georgia. And to date, the company has empowered its associates to cash flow, take home in their house in excess of $400 million. So that's not the company doing $400 million, $1.2 billion. You can't spend the company's money. The company you work for, if you're an employee, you can't spend that company's money either. So it doesn't matter if they had their greatest quarter ever in the pay raise. So we talk about the impact that we're having on our associates' finance, our associates' knowledge and skills to enhance and improve their finances. Now, let's talk about our company's mission. It's very simple but powerful. And it's to empower people with the knowledge and tools they need to improve upon their personal finances. Now, if I had this line open and we did a round table and had everyone give their definition of personal financial success, we'd have a myriad of definitions. But the definition we use in MyEcon is pretty simple. It's having enough cash flow to support our lifestyles during our working years and during our retirement years. Now, what's important about that is the income source is uniquely different for both those phases. See, during our working years, the labor we put towards our jobs or our businesses or a combination of both is where the income comes from during our working years. But during our retirement years, the income has to come from assets that we buy, build, or grow. Assets like stocks, bonds, our retirement accounts, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, annuities, real estate portfolios, residual-based businesses. Bottom line is assets that bring the income in versus our labor. And see, the goal of retirement or reaching retirement is you build assets that replace you. The income comes in independent of you having to work, thus the term financial independence. When the income that comes in independent of you having to work is equal to or greater than your expenses, then you're free. Now, the challenge that millions of Americans have, and the statistics that they talk about is 96% of the working force fail to retire. I'm talking the definition that I just gave. They're able to stop working, but they have enough assets they've purchased, built, or grown that bring them enough income to continue to maintain their lifestyle. Now, it's easy to tell. You don't have to go by national statistics. Take 10 of your friends that have been working 20, 30, 40 years. If they stop working today, do they have enough income to continue to come in to allow them to maintain their lifestyle? And according to those statistics, 9 out of 10 cannot. So we must ask, why in the wealthiest country in the world are so many people struggling to reach their financial goals? One reason is most people have never set a true financial goal. Now, what do I mean by that? the strategy that the masses use to reach retirement, for example, or financial success, they're told to go out, get a good education, so you can never stop learning, nothing wrong with that. But use that education to get a job. While you're working that job and making your money, put some money away for retirement. And then down the road, that'll take care of you. Well, how far, or I should say this, how close is Center City, Philadelphia to down the road? How far is CIC Miami to down the road? See, down the road is not a destination. So what happens is millions of Americans look up 15, 20 years down the road, and they're nowhere near they want to be or need to be financially. Because they haven't been taught properly how to set a goal to where they want to go. So if you would ask those same 10 friends exactly how much they need in their retirement account for them to walk away, they might not have a number. So in MyEcon, what we do, we go the other end. Let's start at an easier end. How much will you need, do you think you need, monthly income to be able to take care of you and your family, continue taking care of your family when no adult is working in that household and you no longer are working? Now, let's say $5,000 a year. That's the example we're going to use. $5,000 a month, excuse me. That's $60,000 a year. Well, if you multiply that number times 12.5, that's going to give you $750,000. Now, so the goal would be, if you needed $5,000 a month income, would be invest enough in your retirement account throughout your working career, and then once you accumulated $750,000, you'd put that somewhere, it'd give you 8% interest, that'll pay you $60,000 a year for the rest of your life. Because you own that portfolio, you can will it, you can sell it. Game over. Unfortunately, that's not most people's reality. Why? Because the second step is the masters aren't taught some specifics about finance and money. Like, how does it grow? How does compound interest work? See, if someone put $1,000 a month away, at 8% for 20 years, they'd have $589,000. Now, that's a lot of money, but that's far less than the $750,000 that I just talked about that the person would need to pay them $60,000 a year that would give them $5,000 a month. Now, the other problem, not just that the $589,000 is less than the $750,000, the bigger problem is the masses are not investing $1,000 a month. So that same 10 people you asked, did they know their specific number? Ask those same 10, are they putting $1,000 plus away in their retirement accounts to help them reach their goal? If their answer is no, then it's easy to understand how 96% of the working force, that's GEDs, bachelor degrees, master's degrees, law degrees, dentist degrees, MDs, all types of education, highly talented, highly educated, but they're missing some specifics, the finance and money that's absolutely needed in order for them to be able to accomplish their financial goals. Now, you have to say why. Why are so many people struggling financially to reach their financial goals in the wealthiest country in the world? See, what are the obstacles going against them? One, inflation. See, if you weren't taught to keep in mind that it is imperative that your income keeps pace or outpaces inflation annually, then you don't realize that you're spending more of your same hard-earned dollars. What do I mean? If in 2017 you made $50,000 a year, now it's 2018 you make that same 50, the problem is groceries cost more in 2018 than they did in 2017. The cost of gasoline costs more in 2018 than they did in 2017. So that's more of your dollars going towards inflation, cost of living, that's not going to your investment account to help you grow that account. So if you're not conscious, then you don't know how significant it is that the masses aren't getting pay raises equivalent to or higher than inflation every year. So inflation's sucking out your dollars. Then there's taxes. Everybody, if you're a W-2 employee and you're on this webinar or you're on Facebook Live, when you get your check, you already know a third of it's gone before you get yours. How can you afford to lose a third of your income when you need to invest as much as you can to grow your retirement account? So you have to say, okay, I need to learn how to address this tax thing so I keep more of my dollars. That's what we teach, and I'll show you in a second how we do that. Now, here's the other problem why it's so important. See, most people base their lifestyle on what their annual income is on paper. They have a $50,000 job. They base their lifestyle on $50,000. But what you just heard me say is inflation sucks up some of that. Taxes suck up a big portion at a third. So even though they base their lifestyle on 50, they only have 35. That creates the third obstacle. The third obstacle is debt. See, they have to borrow money to keep up with their lifestyle because taxes and inflation took so much of the dollars. Now, interest payments are sucking up so much more of that cash flow that, of course, there's not enough money invested and saved to help them reach their goal during their lifetime. So, some people are affiliated with, well, America is just not doing well because they're listening to media and TV, putting twists on things. Well, let me assure you, America is the wealthiest country in the world. It represents 25% of all the world's wealth. It's the home of over 400 billionaires and 7 million millionaires. So America, the country, doesn't have a finance problem. However, Americans, the individuals, they do. See, 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. They cannot absorb a $500 cash emergency. 68 million Americans have less than ideal credit. What that means is when they need to borrow other people's money, when they need to leverage other people's money to buy a house, to buy a rental property, to buy a car, they have to pay a higher price for it. So good credit is a factor of borrowing other people's money, but at a lower price point. It's not buying a car. It's way bigger than that. How do you borrow other people's money to buy income-producing assets that give you a larger profit margin? Now, 80% of Americans feel like they're falling behind financially, but they don't know why. Why? Because when they're playing dominoes, when they're at happy hour, when they're visiting with friends, when they're at wine and cheese parties, when they're at baby showers, when they're doing all those things, they're not talking about inflation, taxes, debt, investments. They're not talking about money. They're talking about LeBron's money, but they're not talking about their money. And guess what? Corporate America don't have a solution for you. Wages are stagnant. They're trying to pay less to get more, so their overhead stays low, but their bottom line is high. They're trying to pay less, provide less benefits, but demand more in return, so their overhead stays low and their bottom line is larger. The government doesn't have a solution. See, it's a capitalistic problem. But the masses are looking to the government for a socialistic solution. See, in Sweden, all you do in Sweden, and this is a dramatization, is they put their cups out, they put their cans out, and the government comes around and sprinkles it out just evenly. That's socialism. Well, in America, one of my Southern buddies said it just well. He said, TC, in America, you get all you can all you get, and then you sit on your can. There's no even rations in capitalism. There's $97 trillion of wealth, and what knowledge you have specific to finance, money, and business determines how much of that you get and how much you leave for your children and your grandchildren. But there is a solution. See, the solution that we provide at MyEcon is more cash flow and better financial strategies. See, the reason there have been actors and entertainers that had millions of dollars, lots of cash flow, and then went broke is because they had poor financial strategies. And then the reason some of those hardworking Americans put money away every single pay period, but when it came 20, 30 years down the road, they couldn't walk away because they didn't have enough cash flow. So you need more cash flow and better financial strategies. So our income shifting membership has 5 cash flow strategies to help solve the cash flow problem. Now, we also incorporate business income. Why? Because if you're not at the table of capitalism, you're on the menu of capitalism. See, if you're not positioning yourself for people to spend their money with you, for people to give their money to you, to people to make money with you, then they're only making money off of you. So if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So you have to be in business in capitalism. Think about it this way. If you would write down your top 10 most financially successful people in America, all 10 of them are business owners and investors. That should tell you right there, part of the ticket to success is entrepreneurship. So let's talk a little bit about our income shifting strategy. So our membership, again, has 5 cash flow strategies. The first is correcting tax withholdings. The second is building better credit. The third, minimizing taxes via our cash flow manager software. The fourth is debt elimination, eliminating debt. Again, we have a debt elimination software. And the fifth is investment education. So let's talk about each of them individually. Now, correcting tax withholdings, that's the fun one. That's the easy one. That's the one that the 96% of working Americans that never get to retire can take advantage of. In fact, the IRS says 80% of the working Americans have too much money withheld from their paychecks for federal taxes, every single paycheck. That's 100 million people. So we solve a problem for 100 million people. Now, why is it so important what you have coming out of your paycheck, the tax withholdings? Now, understand this. No matter what your degree is, no matter what you drive, where you live, what your happy hours look like or vacations look like, if you don't know how many allowances you're carrying on your W-4 because you filled it out years ago, chances are you're a part of that 100 million that they're talking about. If you say, well, I just put 0 or I just put 1, you're absolutely a part of that 100 million that the IRS is talking about. So put pride aside, ego aside, and put your financial success and well-being ahead of all those things. See, the reason it's so important because if you overpay every pay period, you lose money. Here are 3 reasons why. Let's say someone had a $3,600 tax refund. That means they overpaid by $300 a month. So each month they sent the IRS an extra $300. The IRS doesn't sit there in a drawer waiting for you to ask for it next year. No, they're putting that money to work. They're investing it. They're making money off that money. And when they send you your tax refund, they don't send you any of the profit. So you lost all of that interest that your money earned because it wasn't invested in your name. Second, because you sent that $300 to the IRS, you didn't have it to put into your retirement account so you can reach your financial goals. That's a second loss. The third and final one that I'll talk about is let's rewind to November 2017, Thanksgiving time. So millions of Americans went to the grocery store, loaded their carts up, got to the cashier, paying with a credit card instead of cash. Why? Because they didn't have as much cash. Because they let the IRS hold $300 of it a month in this example, right? So now, fast forward to Christmas. They use that same MasterCard or Visa that they paid the groceries for Thanksgiving to pay for their Christmas gifts. Fast forward to February when millions of Americans took the trip to Wakanda and went to see Black Panther. Well, guess what? That same MasterCard or Visa, they swiped to go to the movies. Well, they haven't zeroed that balance out yet. So they're still paying for the celery, the ham, the turkey, the cranberry sauce from back in Thanksgiving. They're still paying for the eggnog and the Christmas gifts from Christmas. And of course, it's September and they still are paying for those tickets for Black Panther. And the reason we don't think about it that way is because we weren't taught to think about it that way. So we're losing money because we are not maximizing our take-home pay and using that money either for investing, either for paying down debt, either for spending so we don't go into further debt, or just merely taking care of our families. This first cash flow stream, we literally have a solution to help 100 million people put more dollars back into their paycheck. It typically results in an extra $200 to $500 going back into their paychecks. That's more dollars without more labor, more dollars without a part-time job. That's more dollars without selling something. Tell me, what other company on the face of the earth is talking to you about that? Is talking to the masses about that? There's no other company on the face of the earth that's talking to people about that. That's our first cash flow stream. Our second cash flow stream is about building better credit. And again, not so you can buy a Benz or some other car, because if you're smart, you buy it with cash and you don't have a recurring payment. But if you do, you want to have the strongest credit score possible so you can borrow at the lowest interest rate. When you buy your home, you want to have the strongest credit profile possible so you can buy it at the lowest interest rate. When you buy a rental property, you want to borrow that money at the lowest possible interest rate. Now, what our system does, it empowers people with the knowledge and tools they need to repair their own credit. See, we want you to know how to pull a credit report. We want you to know how to read your own credit report, how to identify derogatory items, how to prioritize them, how to then put those items on a dispute letter that we provide for you, a template, and then how to mail those letters. We want you to know how to do that. We want you to understand that your payment history is only 35% of your credit report. So we also want you to know how to address the other 65%. So our smart credit system is about giving you the tools and empowering you to repair, build, and maintain good credit. See, if you believe that it's better to teach a man how to fish than have to constantly give him fish, then you would also believe it's better to give the masses the knowledge and tools they need to improve their personal finances, to include their credit. That's our second cash flow stream. Building the strongest possible credit profile, 750 plus, so when you leverage other people's money, you do it at the lowest possible interest rate, saving you on interest. Again, shifting those dollars, that savings, back into your financial plan or strategy. Our third cash flow stream deals with minimizing taxes via our cash flow manager software. See, business owners have access to hundreds of deductions that employees do not have access to. So it's very important to, one, understand that, and then two, position yourself so that you can also benefit of all those deductions. So minimizing taxes via our cash flow manager software really is about converting expenses that you already incur, your lifestyle expenses already, and shifting them into business expenses, making them tax deductible. Because business owners have access to those deductions, even home-based business owners on a part-time basis. Okay, I'm going to give you just 4 of the hundreds that you have access to. First, car and truck expenses. So if you're watching this Facebook Live or you're on a webinar or conference call, chances are you have a vehicle. You have some sort of transportation. If you have a business, we can teach you how to make that transportation partially tax deductible. But if you don't have a business, every time you drive your vehicle, every few miles, just throw $1 out the window, because those are miles that you cannot make deductible. And then every few miles, throw another $1 out the window. Every day you are not in business, you're losing valuable tax deductions and tax savings that you could have via using your car or your truck. So we show you how to use that in conjunction with operating your business. And IRS says as long as you're operating your business with profit intent and you're keeping good records, you qualify for these deductions. Oh, guess what? If you're Facebook Live and you're on your cell phone or your laptop, if you're on the webinar or on the conference call, you're on your cell phone or you're calling in from home or using internet access at home, that's communication expenses that obviously you already incur. Well, if you were in business with us, we will be showing you already how you'd be writing that off. You'll be writing percentage of your cell phone off every single month. It will be documented in your cash flow manager software as a reoccurring expense. Your internet access at home, it'll be documented in your cash flow manager software that you access via your smartphone. Documented every single month as a reoccurring expense. You would take a digital image or screenshot of the receipt for it every single month. How about travel? I'm about to take a trip to Europe. There are people that travel throughout the United States this summer, traveled abroad this summer, incurred airfare like I'm about to incur, hotel expenses like I'm about to incur, meal expenses like I'm about to incur, except mine are tax deductible. Because as a business owner, that's not a trip I take that I don't make it a business trip. See, anywhere I travel in the world, I'm going to ensure that I schedule business during that trip. Now, if I didn't have a business like many who traveled all summer and are going to travel the rest of the year, they still take the trips. They still spend airfare, hotel, meals, but they don't make any of it tax deductible. So align with us and we'll show you how the money that you're already going to spend anyway, you legally, morally, and ethically make it tax deductible. See, what company on the face of the earth other than ours are teaching you these things? What company, are you ready for this one? What company is telling you as a parent that if you have a home-based business You can pay your children wages instead of allowances. And those wages are 100% tax deductible. You can pay your children wages, and then with those wages pay their daycare. Now, in essence, that daycare expense is tax deductible. You can pay your children wages, and with those wages, buy their clothes, their food, pay for their karate lessons, their piano lessons. And in essence, those same lessons, the same dollars you're spending anyway, now become tax deductible. See, the only reason you haven't been doing it, and the masses, those 96% that fail to retire, haven't been doing it, saving taxes, keeping more dollars so they can use to invest and reach their financial goals, is because they didn't have that knowledge specific to business, specific to finance and money. See, these cash flow strategies is what we teach and what we empower people to utilize in MyEcon. And again, there's not another company on the face of the earth that teaches and empowers people to do these things. So that's our third cash flow stream. Those three cash flow streams literally shift hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, back into people's financial strategies. Now, the fourth cash flow stream says, hey, debt gives way to more cash flow. See, if you have a $200 car note, the faster you pay that car note off, the less you pay for it, meaning you're saving interest. And once it's paid off, you just put the $200 back into your financial budget. So we know how to approach this from many different ways. So what we do is we say, utilize our software, and what it's going to do is help you prioritize these debts. In this example, we have $300,000 worth of debt, car expense, credit cards, mortgage. We apply an additional $1,000 to that debt, one debt at a time, snowballing it, debt after debt after debt until it's all paid off. Well, because we started with applying that $1,000 to it, we paid off over $300,000 worth of debt in less than 10 years instead of 30, saving over $279,000 in interest payments. That's cash flow saved. That's cash flow that can be used in a financial budgeting strategy to help reach your financial goals. Now, that was over $2,400 that was servicing that debt. Now that's $2,400 extra cash flow you have. Now it's a matter of understanding cash, asset, cash. Cash, asset, cash. That's turning that cash into assets that bring you more cash. Now, most people don't understand that because that's something that's learned. So our fifth cash flow stream centers around investment education. And we take a holistic or a comprehensive approach to training about that. We start with terminology. See, what's a cash equivalent? What's a stock? What's a bond? What's a real asset? What's the underlying investment? What's a tax strategy to use for investments? What's compound interest? What's dollar cost averaging? How do you set up an investment account? See, these are all the things that we teach in our investment education, concepts and strategies. What do you do with that extra cash? And once you understand that, and once you're a business owner, you start asking different questions. You have $100 a month you want to invest. If you invest that in Coca-Cola, is that going to give you a better return if you invested in you, the business owner? See, that's strategic thinking. But without the knowledge and the tools, you don't quite think that way. And so, yes, we're a highly educated society. Engineers, architects, doctors, dentists, teachers, sanitation engineers, coaches, highly educated and successful. But they're missing some specifics to finance and money to help them get their finances to the next level, and that's what we do. Now, we also show and rely on the fact that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. See, what was it that has allowed Waffle House to dominate many areas of their industry? What has allowed Walmart to dominate? Not just that they're in business. They understand that distribution is king. So you have so many people focused on a product, they go out trying to sling a product, thinking that product is going to deliver them, whether the product is flowers, cupcakes, water, credit, vitamins. It's not the product. Let me give you an example. If someone was coming to visit me in Miami, or if you're in South Florida, if someone was coming to visit you and they're meat eaters, they just want a nice, juicy, delicious steak, where are you going to tell them to go to? STK, Ruth Chris, Reds, Prime 112. You're not going to tell them to go to Waffle House. But Waffle House sells more steaks in America than any other company. Yep, that's right. 24 hours a day, small shack, back road. You can get yourself some steak and eggs, steak and grits. They sell more than anybody. They wear out the competition. And that's because of something called distribution is king. See, Walmart, not known for groceries, but they sell a whole bunch of it. They're not known for sporting goods, but they sell a whole bunch of it. They're not known for clothes, baby food, but they sell a whole bunch of all of it because they have distribution. So when we say we want you to put on your CEO cap for your finances, we also want you to keep that on for your business. We want you to think like the CEO of Waffle House and the CEO of Walmart. Don't focus on the individual product. Focus on distribution, and you'll get far more product sales than anyone else. So that's what we do in MyEcon. Now, so our flagship product, which brings the most value, is our income shifting membership, because we take care of that cash flow problem and we teach better financial strategies. But we also have our associates have the ability to do business in multiple industries simultaneously. The same way that Walmart can sell groceries, sporting goods, stuff for your car, stuff for your eyes, babies, clothes, everything, electronics. So our associates get websites websites personalized for them. And on their websites is all our company products. See, although many products are in our membership, like our smart credit system is in the membership our associates get. But not everyone's going to get a membership. Some people decide they don't want the membership. But they still need our smart credit system. They still see the value in doing it themselves. So they can go to any of our associates' website and purchase that smart credit system for $99 one time. And now they have 26 videos that walk them through the process step by step by step. And now they can teach their children, their nieces, their nephews, their neighbors. Well, guess what? They can purchase ID theft protection for $7.99, $7.99 with $1 million service policy from any of our associates' websites. They can also purchase that same cash flow manager software that's in our membership. Insurance agents, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, independent contractors, small business owners who find it vitally important to keep meticulous records of expenses and income. They can go to our associates' website, spend $10.95 and get that same fantastic product, that same software on their smartphone. They can also book travel from any of our associates' websites. Think about it. Not many people call travel agents to take trips these days. Maybe family vacations or trip for groups. But if they fly into Vegas, they're just going to go online and buy. Well, guess what? They can go to any of our associates' website and book travel. We have contracts with all the major carriers over the country. So now, guess what? They go to our associates' website, do business with Priceline, our associates give commission on it. Road Assist. Well, guess what? There are many people that break down, get flat tires, run out of gas. They need someone to call. We have a product. $7.99, they have that product. You run out of gas, get a flat tire. You got somebody to call to come help you. Our associates get commission on that. We have a cashback mall. See, we can provide a mall, and now anytime someone wants to purchase from over 1,000 stores, Walmart, Macy's, BrandsMart, Best Buy, Staples, Home Depot, Toys R Us, 1,000 stores representing over 1 million products, they can purchase from their own mall that they get from our associates. And now not only do they get cash back from those malls, but our associates get commission on it. So these products represent all the products that Walmart sells out of every single franchise. So our associates duplicating the successful patterns of both Waffle House and Walmart and thousands of other companies that focus on distribution is they focus on empowering people to be able to improve their personal finances with our membership. With every membership that our associates provide, our compensation plan rewards them. See, once they've provided 2 memberships, they've helped 2 people shift hundreds of dollars back into their paycheck. 2 people get the tools they need to improve their own credit. 2 people to improve their knowledge about investing and finance and money. They're now promoted to executive vice president. Now, if anybody goes to their website and purchases any of the products, they now get 100% of all the commissionable sales. Now, in addition to that, not only do they get commission off sales from their website, but from their team of websites. See, every time they help someone get a membership, that's just like a team member. And all those members have websites. And they're going to be buying from their websites, and other people are buying from their websites. Well, guess what? That executive vice president earns up to 85% commission on those websites as well, up to. Now, you never have to recruit in MyEcon to gain benefit off our membership. See, once you're in with business with us, if you're an employee, we're going to help you adjust your W floor. Not just the adjustments worksheet, or the allowance worksheet, but the adjustments and deduction worksheet as well. And both of those combined shift more dollars back into your paycheck. If you're a 1099 employee or a small business owner, what we're going to do is first, we're going to help you keep track now, identify all of those deductions you should be keeping track of. How to document it, how to take advantage of that. Keeping more of your dollars. We're also going to allow you to diversify the products and services you can now offer to the general public. If your business is local, it's now national. Now, every time you refer someone, as an executive vice president, you refer someone to the membership, you're going to get a $35 upfront bonus. So you get $35 commission every time someone gets a membership based on your personal referral. Now, unlimited times. You can do it as many times as you want, anywhere in the country. You can do it directly, you can do it via digital and online marketing. Every time that person that you refer someone, you're going to earn up to $25 on that. And then that person refers someone, up to $25 on that. And that person refers someone, up to $25 on that through infinity. And that process goes on every single person that you personally sponsor, and then as they start sponsoring folks. So you're earning significant upfront money. The company pays weekly. We have individuals that make an extra $15, $50, up to thousands of dollars a week. Now, there are some people that are watching this on Facebook Live. If you're on Facebook Live, you see my post. There's a couple that in the past 90 days made $200,000 in commissions in MyEcon in 90 days. Their first 90 days. Now, people say, oh, that's unheard of. That's because they're used to working hard for every dime they make. They don't have leveraged income. See, why do you think a company hires a sales force? Because they want leveraged income. Why do you think a company hires employees? Because they want leveraged income. So as you're helping people, empowering people, you're also now leveraging. And everyone's using the same principles. So now you're earning upfront money weekly, and we help you make a 3-figure, 4-figure weekly income. Now, you're also building your residual income. See, I have Metro PCS as my phone carrier. Well, guess what? They get paid every single month off my account. Every single month I pay them. And there are a million other customers that do the exact same thing. So they did the work one time to get me, and they get paid over and over and over again. Well, as you empower people, your team empower people to get the tools to improve their finances, they keep their membership. See, I already sold enough value. I can let the cat out the bag. It costs only $47.90 to get this membership that I'm talking about, to get this web-based business that I'm talking about, that has those 5 cash flow streams that I'm talking about, that shows you how to shift $200 to $500 back in your paycheck. $47.90. After 30 days, $34.95. So after your first month in business, you would have put $200 to $500 back in your paycheck. So you have to say, okay, I spent $47.90. Was it worth spending $47.90 to put $400 in my paycheck? Absolutely. The next month, you spend $34.95 to maintain your membership, to keep your website maintained and active, to keep your merchant accounts open, to allow you to continue to use the smart credit system. See, by your second month, you're saying, okay, I paid $34.95 this month, but my credit score went up 75 points. That's value. Was it worth it to spend $34.95 to have hundreds come in your paycheck and you had a bump in your credit score? Come on. Come on. You also continue to have training on how you minimize your taxes. How do you document these expenses? How do you schedule your trip? How do you pay your children wages and then use that money to take care of what you were taking care of before? We teach you how to do that and how to document what you're at. What about the investment education? How do you turn that cash into assets to bring you more cash? Do you invest in the market? Do you invest in you as a business owner? Do you do Forex or do you do your X? See, when you have the knowledge and you understand how to ask these questions and make the best decisions for you. Now, I already let it out the bag, $47.90. See, by my first couple of slides, I believe just the information I gave you was worth more than the $47.90. But now that you know, you're getting $200 to $500 back in your paycheck. Your paycheck, nobody else's paycheck, your paycheck. And that's whether anybody purchased anything from your website, you still get that $200 to $500 coming in your paycheck. That's whether anybody ever gets a membership from you, you still keep the $200 to $500 coming in your paycheck. See, it's a no-brainer. And again, I said, no other company in America today, and probably on the face of the earth, shows you how to put more money in your household without selling something. We just help you position yourself, get some knowledge, and apply it, and the money comes in your paycheck. See, no one else is teaching how to do that. And of course, the valuable tax benefits. You know, the $47.90, tax deductible. The $34.95 every single month, tax deductible. That's on top of your cell phone bill, on top of your car and truck expenses, on top of your travel. See, when you're a business owner with us, you'll never ever have another barbecue. You'll have a business luncheon. You'll never ever have another Thanksgiving dinner. You'll have a dinner reception. See, you have to shift your mindset once you become a business owner with us. Once you get the knowledge, the way you think changes. So I think it's a no-brainer, but I'm going to open the lines up for questions and answers and let you ask any questions that you have. And if you're on Facebook, I'm sure you've been commenting. I can't see them because of the way the phone is turned, but I assure you I'll go back and I'll answer any questions that are there and respond to any comments that you made. So I'm going to, thank everyone for taking time to get on the webinar and conference call. I'm now going to put it in Q&A mode. So basically how that works is, as a guest or one of our associates from around the country, all you need to do is hit *6, and then when you hit *6, your line opens up, and everybody will be able to hear you. It'll still be quiet, but everybody will be able to hear you. You'll post your question, I'll answer your question, we'll have an exchange. Once your question has been answered satisfactory, I just ask that you hit *6 to mute it back out. So okay, let me put it in question and answer mode. All right, so the conference is now in question and answer mode. So if you're a guest, just hit *6, ask your question, and we'll get the rocking and rolling. If you're an associate, hit *6, give your promo information you want to give out. All right, we're live. Let's do it. *6. And again, this Wednesday coming up, we'll have another one just like this. I won't be the presenter, but we'll have it. All right, someone open their line.
Once your business starts, once you get into the business,
Yes, ma'am.
you automatically start writing down your hours for your mileage, as long as it's going towards a destination such as a business luncheon.
Absolutely, ma'am. And once you get in business with us, the first thing we do is we have you download the Cash Flow Manager app. And then we walk you through putting in your first few expenses, and then we show you how to document your miles. We have videos that walk you through every single aspect of it. So if you're in an area where you don't have a local leader or someone like myself that can walk you through it in person or over the phone, our videos in your back office walks you through it step by step. So how do you begin to document miles? First of all, how do you move as a business owner in such a way that those miles become business miles versus commuter miles? So we use the IRS publications to show you specifically how to do that. We use the IRS publications to show parents specifically how they can pay their kids' wages. So yes, ma'am, as soon as you come in business, we teach you how to do that. Did that answer your question? All right, perfect. So again, I encourage any of our guests to please don't hesitate to ask a question, because all questions are good questions. And 9 times out of 10, there's someone else that might have had that exact same question. All right.
You answered my question. I wanted to know also what is the app? You said that there's an app for the mileage. It doesn't come. It's not on the website. It's a certain app on your phone, right?
What it is, our cash flow manager, you can access it via your website, via the computer, or you could download the app itself called Cash Flow Manager. And now that gives you access to it via your smartphone. So you can put in your expenses via your smartphone, your tablet, or your computer. It goes to the same space in the sky.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Excellent question. Any of our other guests have any questions for us? *6, and the line is yours. And also, any of our associates from anywhere in the country, if you have any comments you'd like to make, any promos, information you'd like to give out, please feel free to do so at this time.
I think I'll be asking a lot.
That's okay. That's excellent.
When you're doing these webinars, this is also considered a business meeting, correct? Like this
Yes, ma'am.
You're actually doing a webinar, right?
Absolutely. Yes,
So
ma'am.
you could be out of the country and doing this webinar, and that's considered that tax deductible as well, right? Or the receipt thing that you were speaking about?
Well, I wouldn't say me, if I'm in Germany and I'm doing this webinar, that wouldn't constitute my trip in Germany being a business trip. The fact that I have the ability to talk to some American airmen and soldiers while I'm there does constitute that. So I have the ability to actually speak with someone specifically about doing business with me while I'm there. That's what made it a business trip.
So when you're doing the webinars, they're just considered what? The webinars is just you giving out the information.
Yes, that's just another one of our ways. See, as you get into business with us, we have something called a quick start orientation. And one part of that orientation is something we call peek and pass. And the first part of it is piquing a person's interest to want to find out more about the business. And then we pass them to a presentation. So that presentation may be a live webinar like this. It may be a live conference call. It may be a recorded webinar, because usually we record these webinars. It may be a recorded conference call. It could be a videotape. So it could be a myriad of ways, a three-way call, a sit-down one-on-one, or even a hotel meeting or a group meeting. So the idea is to, at the end of the day, our job is to get the information out to as many people as we can, to give them the information and give them the ability to make an informed decision, yes or no. And so this happens to be one of the tools, and a very effective tool, because if we'd have more time for introductions and it was quieter, you'd have heard people introducing themselves from California, Texas, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Florida, Mississippi, Virginia, Arkansas, all over the country. So it's an effective tool that allows you to get blanket coverage all over the country at the exact same time. And consequently, the recorded version of it is even more versatile, because this webinar, we do it at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then accordingly to Central, Mountain, and Pacific, but it's only during that window. But the recorded one, someone can watch that when they get off work at 2 in the morning. Or someone can watch that during their lunch break. So that's even more versatile. And it gives a person the ability to have their business open every single day. So again, it's about passing them to a medium that allows them to hear a quality presentation. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does. What do you get to you tweak these as you go, right? You make it your own. Your
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
As you go and according to the people you talk to. Depending on what country you're in. or not what part of the country you're in. Or like if I'm talking to someone that's of Latin descent, to relate it culturally to them is going to be different from, say, relating it to someone with African American descent. So you relate it to your audience. I can relate the business a little different to a single parent versus someone who's just single with no kids. So yes, you adapt it to, as more you learn, and you adapt it to who you're talking to, your market.
And then you just make it your own, and you add your own you add the information from what you've learned, but you initially make that picture on while still being informative about everything.
Absolutely. You personalize it to your personality. Absolutely.
Okay. Got that. And with the website, once you have the website started, exactly how I know Is there a way that they can, that everything they need is on the website? If they pretty much need to find out what it's about, it's there.
It's there, yes. So we have informative educational videos in the back office. But now, let's say, the person that got you in the business, they might be new. But the person that got them in might be seasoned. But let's say 5 levels up, everybody's new because it's growing very fast. Then worst case, we have a training webinar we do, one of our co-founders, Alvin Curry, does every Thursday night at 10 p.m. They can get on that training webinar and ask the questions that they have. They can even get on this webinar and during Q&A, after all of our guests ask their questions, if some socials want to add, they can do that. This is designed primarily for providing information to prospects and new people that haven't heard it before, but worst case scenario, that's something that someone can do. But every Thursday, again, we have a training webinar that one of the co-founders does, Alvin Curry, and that information is also in the back office of the website.
Also, this training is actually on the website.
No. The schedule for the training is on the website. Alvin's schedule, when he does them, every Thursday he does it, but he lists his schedule of topics on the website. And then it's recorded. So even if you missed it, like all the ones he's done for the past 90 days, you can go watch because they're recorded and they're archived. And then you know what's coming up in the next 90 days, every single Thursday.
And you know the topic, exactly what it's going to be.
Yes, you know the topics in advance, what documents he's going to be teaching from. So it gives you time to download them, print them out, or get them up on your screen of your computer. So as he's talking through them, you could be following along or highlighting if you printed it out. So it's almost like a curriculum mapped out for you.
Okay.
Except if you missed the class, the whole curriculum is recorded. The class is recorded for you.
How long does usually somebody that's new with training does it usually take? While to get comfortable with the pitch and to learn how to.
Well, I would say this. That's individual, because some people learn faster than others. Yeah. Some people learn faster than others, and quite honestly, some people are more serious about it and have a bigger sense of urgency. Like if someone wants to learn a presentation, we have a recorded webinar. We have one that's only 18 minutes long. They could watch that webinar once or twice a day for 7 days straight, and then they know it. So it just depends on how fast, it just depends on how fast they want to get functional with information.
Right, you're right. Okay, that makes sense.
So the faster a person gets functional with that information, the more people they can touch themselves as well. It's just like any other business. If you have a pizza shop, if post one flyer up on the pole outside of your shop versus you downtown on the weekends, you posting it everywhere, and every networking session you go to, you giving it out, you posting it up on your Facebook and your social media. Everybody throughout your entire social media know that you have a pizza shop, your business is going to grow.
Right.
So same thing.
Just word of mouth is going to get you basically just promoting. You're gonna eventually get who you want. It's just if they want to save that money or not.
Absolutely. And we help with that process too, because we have something called the memory jogger. So we help people put together a quality prospect list. But because that's not something we're usually trained to do and do all the time, we might just put our cousins, our neighbor, our best friend. We might not think to put the security guard that we talk to all the time every day at our child's school. We might think to put our dry cleaner on there, the person that details our car. See, we might not think about to put those people on there, the bartender at a happy hour we go to all the time. But our memory jogger helps you think about all these people that don't readily come to your mind. So we help with the process.
Right. Okay.
So you're in business for yourself, but by no means are you in business by yourself when you come in business with us.
Okay. And you've seen where it's just like regular people, it could be your neighbor, friends, that you'd be surprised who hops on this, right? You'll be surprised, I'm guessing.
Well, I would say this. It's not really a surprise. Think about it. If you have a good enough relationship with your neighbor or the person you're talking to or the security guard down at your child's school to say, Chris, are you interested in putting an extra $200 to $500 back in your paycheck? I just learned how to do that. You want some information on that? Heck yeah. That easy. Now, once they get the information, either they want to use it or they don't. That's simple.
Okay.
You just got to be willing to ask. You just got to be willing. Right. You just got to be willing to ask them, are they interested in putting $200, $500 back in their paycheck? I got some information for you.
Right. It's either you are or you're not.
You are or you aren't. Exactly. And if they're not next, it's okay. It's their money. You can't want them to have their money more than they do. Either they want their money or they don't. Next. The IRS already said that 80% of the workforce, 100 million people, are cheating themselves out of valuable dollars every paycheck. Either they want their money or they don't. So we got 100 million people to talk to. That's simple. Well, you know, I really appreciate all of your questions. I really do, because I can see that there are many people that stayed on and they're listening to your questions. They're listening to the answer to the questions. And it serves actually a couple purposes. One, if there are guests that have the same questions, you're asking them on their behalf, unbeknowingly, and they're getting their answer. And then a lot of times our associates haven't been asked some of those questions yet that you just asked. Well, now they know how to answer those questions if they get asked. So it serves as double function, helping the new guests get their questions answered. Right. And it help give some training to associates that hung around that might not have been asked those questions yet. So it's a win-win. So I really appreciate it, and I thank you very much. What's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia? Oh, you go, okay. Welcome, that's Alicia, okay. Lisa Sanchez, brand new associate, absolutely. Just came on board today, this afternoon. Absolutely. Well, great. I'll be able to help you answer all those questions, do all that stuff. Outstanding. Well, thank you for answering those questions. Ask me.
No, thank you for being informative about it.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? Go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
When people that are new starting out, have you seen people that aren't so, I guess, the best at first with, I guess, starting out and getting people, and then you just see them all of a sudden make a turnaround with this thing?
Are you saying they start out slow and then pick up? Is that what that's the question?
Just like, wow, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Well, what it is this. The difference between them starting out slow and then picking up is what actions did they do when they picked up that they didn't do when they started out. See, it had to be some action that caused it to pick up. So if they would do that same action right now, then they'll have that success right now. And so our system, step by step, will walk you through being able to have that, to do the action to get the success right now. So that's the only difference. It took some action for it to pick up down the road. If they just did that same action, right, they just do the same action right now. See, we already got the system that works. It's just a matter of someone following the steps of our turnkey system, cookie cutter, and it'll work. Absolutely it will. So I'm leaving the country for a little bit, but when I'm back, you'll have me at your full disposal. But you have our system until then. And you're on WhatsApp, I already saw it, so I'll be able to communicate with you while I'm in Europe as well. I already looked at it.
Perfect.
All right?
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Alicia. And you are absolutely, I'm confident you are absolutely going to be successful because you're looking for the information that you need to arm yourself so you can be. So I'm confident 100%. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help you be that.
Perfect.
So welcome again to MyEcon.
Thank you.
And she's been in business less than a day, a few hours, and she already has her first business associate. So she's already halfway to executive vice president. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
All right. So Are there any other questions? Do we have any of our associates that want to make any comments, promos before we call it a night? It's been a great night. No? Okay, yes. How are you, ma'am?
Yes. Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Nikki, and the question that I have is when we sign up to start the business, I noticed that there was an option for personal or to sign up as a corporation. Which one do you suggest?
Depends which one you are. See, sometimes people are already business owners, so they already have a business entity, and they've already learned the importance of either having a business entity or operating as a business entity, and they're doing it for a specific reason. So if they already have one and they sign up, then they'll sign up probably using that because they already have it, they're already knowledgeable about it, and already operating under that. Now, if you don't already have one and not already operating as one, coming in as a sole proprietor is all you really need to do right now. Under your name, your social security number, and we rock and roll just like that. There's no need to be a corporation. And in fact, if you come in as a C Corp and you have children, there's some disadvantages that you're going to have if you do that. So if you aren't already operating as one, coming in as a sole proprietor is all you need to do.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, Nikki, and thank you for asking your question and joining tonight.
I have a question on the income tax. Tax thing that you talked about the W-2 and so forth. What about the recent change that just took place with the IRS, where the tax document or the tax form has changed, where they're eliminating some of the itemized deductions that people could make? And now they're saying that they just released that today, saying that some people won't be able to, will end up owing the IRS for 2018 because of the changes in the tax law, the recent changes they just made.
Right. Well, what they're talking about there is talking about the regular person who's not in business, who has to fill out a 1040 and sometimes a Schedule A. And so they made changes in the amount of property tax and interest on mortgage and things like that you can write off. They put caps on it now. They did away with exemptions, and they gave a higher standard deduction. So based on those factors, the way people filed last year, if they filed the exact same way this year, if they were getting a very large tax refund, it might not be as large. And if they didn't owe, they might owe. That's something solely separate from being a business owner, because as a business owner, you still get to write off all the things you could write off last year with the exception of entertainment expenses. So you're still going to be able to write off your mileage as a business owner. You're still going to be able to write off your communications, your travel. In fact, last year, a business owner could pay their child $6,350 a year maximum wages before that child had to pay taxes. Now, because of the changes, that business owner could pay their child up to $12,000 a year without that child having to pay any taxes on it, and it's 100% tax deduction. So, yes, there are some changes that may cause some tax filers to pay more or not get as much back, but that's separate from what we were talking about, the deductions you get as a business owner. Two totally separate things. So we're able to help that person that may have to pay more because of the changes, because as being a business owner, they'll now be able to incorporate some of the expenses that they already have, which would ultimately be able to lower their taxable income. See, how much a person pays is directly related to deductions that they have. And so in business, you're able to pick up more deductions. So that's what determines whether two people making $100,000, who pays more or less than taxes, what deductions do they have? Did that answer it?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, sir. What's your name?
Bransford.
Bransford. Thank you for calling in, Bransford.
Yeah. No problem.
I had one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as the W-2 form, W-4.
Yes.
Since I signed up, how soon can I get? I know you're going on your vacation, so after your
No. When we hang up this, you're going to call me. We're going to adjust it.
Oh, so I can call you and we can just do that over the phone. We don't have to meet at all?
Nope, right over the phone.
But don't you need some paper?
You're turning one in. I'm not turning it in. You're going to turn one in. So I can give, even if you don't have it right there in front of you.
Still might have needed to be in front of you with the paper.
No.
We can do everything over the phone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to do it over the phone tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. I think it has to be like some of the phone, but we still got to meet.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Because there's some people, depending on the job they have to go online to fill it out. It's not even a paper they fill out. They go online in their company's payroll system and just adjust the number of allowances themselves. They don't have to turn it in to nobody. They just go adjust it themselves.
That's why I never knew about that.
Yeah.
Never knew you could do that.
Yep. So yeah, we'll take care of that this evening. No problem.
Okay, no problem. That was my last question.
No worries. Any other questions? Any other comments? Well, outstanding. So I thank everyone for taking the time out to get on the webinar. I thank all of our associates who hung around and they're still on the conference call and webinar. I can see you out there. Appreciate you. I hope it was of value. And all our guests, our guests that are still on, just by the questions that was answered and then the information that was given and how to apply it would give you an idea of the sense of value that aligning with us and our membership can bring. And so I hope you see that value, and I just encourage you to get back with the person that invited you on to the webinar this evening or the conference call and get in business with them, and then allow our system, be coachable, and allow our system and our leaders to help you get the knowledge and get the tools and apply them effectively to ultimately improve your personal finances. So again, I thank you all. I wish you all a fair adieu, and God bless, and good night. And any of you still out there on Facebook, I'm sorry I was trying to answer this and not talking to you. Thank you, and good night.